everything we've learned has come down to this. The next generation of MacBooks.
You might be asking yourself, why? Why did we just watch a video on what they claim to be the world's thinnest and sleekest computer? Well, that computer's a Mac, and that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today. When Macs were created, they weren't created for much outside of the business world. Nobody knew about them other than the ones who created them, and those who use them while at work for the most part. Today, Macs have become more public knowledge and are used in areas such as graphic design and even Hollywood movie editing. Kind of crazy, huh? Well, you may be saying, I don't edit movies. I'm not a big graphics person. Why? What is a Mac and what's good for me? Well, I can tell you that. In the world in which we live today, a Mac, or any computer for that matter, needs to come with us, no? So Mac has a few different laptop options for you to indulge in. The first is a MacBook. Now, which is this one right here. MacBook is the cheapest of the laptop versions, starting at $999. It has a 7-hour battery life, but that really depends on your usage. If you use it a lot and it's not connected to a power source, it's going to be less. If you don't use it a lot and it's not connected to a power source, it's going to be more. It all depends on your use. The MacBook originally came in two colors. White, like the one shown right here on the screen, and this aluminum color. Yes, it might not look like a MacBook, but this is a MacBook back when they made them that looked like this. The new MacBook has a glass multi-touch pad, unlike this one, that looks kind of titanium-ish and funky looking. It is probably the most portable of laptops that I've seen next to the one that we just saw on video. It weighs in at 1.08. It measures in at 1.08 inches in thickness and weighs just 4.7 pounds. So it's sleek yet light. It can fit in your purse. It can fit in your, well, not necessarily your purse, but it can fit in a backpack. Maybe if you have a tote style purse, it can fit in that as well. The next one is the MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro looks much like this here, except besides the internal components that it has, their CD-ROM drive is moved from the side, which on the MacBook is on the side, to the front over here. And the MacBook Pro looks something very similar to it, and it only comes in this titanium color. There it is. But the MacBook Pro comes in 3 different screen sizes: a 13-inch, a 15-inch, and a 17-inch. The 13-inch is the cheapest at $1,199, followed by the 15-inch at $1,800, and the 17-inch at $2,500. It has enhanced HD features, probably better for someone in the movie and graphics area, and fast processing graphics. Okay. Now, to give you more information on that video Mac that we just saw. That is the MacBook Air. Yes, indeed. It is the lightest, the sleekest, and it can probably go mostly anywhere with you, but there are some drawbacks. It doesn't have as much memory. The battery life on it is great, but there's no CD-ROM drive or DVD-ROM drive, which means you can't burn CDs or DVDs, or if you're on a flight, you can't watch DVDs anyway. So that is a drawback, but it does start at $999, which is the same as that of the MacBook Pro, which, the MacBook, I'm sorry, which I think I forgot to mention earlier. There's a 15-inch and a 17-inch, and they start at both $1,400 and $1,800. Next is the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini, I guess, is more like a desktop. Actually, they do call it a desktop, but just for its portability, and because it's so small, I like to think of it as more of a laptop because it's a little square box. It's not much more than what you see on your screen right there. It's a little square box with a little screen. That's your motor. MacBook Mini is the smallest available. It's the most energy efficient, using only 10 watts of energy when it's idle. Can't say anything better about it. And it only starts at $699. So that technically starts your desktop version of your Mac, but I like to think of it as sort of a little more portable than a desktop. Now, for those of you who aren't going to be checking around with your computers, you have two options as far as desktop goes. One, which is the iMac. The iMac is the original Mac computer that most of the public was introduced to in 2002. I don't have a picture of it because it's an older, outdated model and I couldn't find one. But it comes in 21.5 or 27-inch screens that are LCD lit with a 16:9 aspect ratio. Now they're good for watching all those cool high definition widescreen movies that are out nowadays. And it starts at $1,200, which if you're into graphics and all that stuff, you're probably going to go for that anyway. And lastly is the MacBook Pro, which kind of, to me, looks like your industrial, typical home tower computer. For those of you who still have that. It's got a 12-core, an 8-core, and a 24... No, excuse me. It's got a 12-core, an 8-core, and a quad-core processing. It's got 12 cores of processing power, and they range anywhere from $2,400 to $5,000 in price. So as you can see, Mac isn't all that confusing. It's not for everybody. I personally am more accustomed to them and I like them better. But if you don't think you can get all the who's and the whats and the craziness that goes along with it, stick to your PC, stick to Windows, do what you gotta do. But for those of you who are a little more adventurous and like to live on the edge of life, then just give it a shot. You got nothing to lose, except maybe a couple of $1,000.